Okay, we're here at the O'Connell Center for the Jimmy Carnes Invitational. With me today, who traveled up from Sarasota, is our massage consultant, Stacy Nevelis. So thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
We had a great dinner last night at Bun Thai, so that started things off. And she's going to show us some of the things we do pre-race, and then we're going to get together afterwards and show her post-race. So Stacy, what do you do pre-race?
Pre-race, I would like to do some foot massage. I'm a big believer, David, in warming up that tissue, the ligaments, the tendons, and everything, and getting it warm up, especially with the 1 mile race. The foot strikes the ground first, so it just gets that pliability to get it moving. So let's get the blood flow. So I'm going to do more short strokes. Tight in there, feel that? And you've already done some running and some warming up this morning, but not with any great speed per se, just getting the blood flow to the tissue. Great. And I'm probably going to even go up into your calf a little bit today, only because you're wearing the spikes, and that tends to demand a lot more from your calves. Nice and tight there. And that feels okay, David? So what I'm doing here is just kind of hooking in here, just gliding down to the heel and pulling the toe back as we go. I just really believe getting some good footwork done and warming up all that tissue. There's so many intricate muscle and attachments in here that as you demand from the foot and you're striking the ground, you're really going fast. I just find that warming that up, you're going to be better off and really less injury potential. Stretch. All right. And there's your pre-event foot massage, and I am a firm believer in that. So
thank you, Stacy.
Best to you.
Keep moving up, Phil!
Yes, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Finish it up. Finish it up, babe. Come on.
Trying to hold on.
Come on, Terrell! Keep kicking!
Alan Ortega.
Keep going, Terrell! Keep going, Terrell! Don't ease up, Terrell!
Terrell Bryant on the outside.
Keep going, Terrell!
Come on, David!
Keep going, keep going!
And Terrell Bryant, 440
Good job, Brandon!
to win the last section.
This one right now, I'm going to start off with a suction and release. So what I have is just a plastic cup. It comes with a valve and has a gun. This is considered manual cupping. So I'm going to put this, his vastus lateralis, the lateral quadricep group, I'm noticing is a little tight today. Might be after the event, and it presents a little differently in the spikes, I think. So I'm just going to do what I call what's called suction release. And I'm trained through Anita Shannon with Massage.mpg, so you can check out that as well. Kind of just going to suction and release. And I can do I can get a little more give there. I can do a couple pumps. And that's comfortable to you, David? It feels fine. And this particular technique won't necessarily leave the hickeys or the cup kisses that people sometimes see with cupping. There's a couple different ways to go about it, depending on the intention and what you're going for. Some people don't mind the cup marks, and some do. So obviously I just approach that differently with each individual and releasing. So I'm bringing the blood flow in, and then I'm letting it recede back into the tissue. And even this little bit is probably all I'm going to need to do on this side. And we're going to see a difference. I'm going to go ahead and do a stroke in there. And just that little bit of suction release I just did, automatically I felt the muscle just soften, lay down, and allow me to do that forearm stroke without any discomfort to him. And I didn't feel like I was fighting the tissue. It was allowing me to be there, and it gave me permission. So feel that? All right, I was just checking out his vastus medialis trigger point, and he says it's a little tight. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a cup on it and make my job easier, make it more comfortable on him. And in this instance, I am going to park the cup. Looks like it's going to stay. And more of the techniques that I'm doing here are myofascial and also neuromuscular, again, coupled with cupping massage. And that's the beauty of massage. There's so many modalities. It's just finding what works for each therapist, adding that in. All right, so now we have David prone, and I'm going to work a key area for runners. I'm going to go ahead and place cups on his gluteal area, some key areas that I find have been very useful, and I just go ahead and park those on there right away. Again, take it to resistance. Going into the gluteus minimus. Right there. And again, take it to resistance. And this is a great technique here, especially after an event like this, where the spikes tend to demand a lot more from the calves. But anyone who comes in with shin splits or really hypersensitive calves, it could be soccer players, baseball players, of all ages, usually one treatment of cupping and flushing this area out takes care of it. And they're usually pretty blown away. So I've worked a lot of different areas here, focusing on some that were tight, doing some dragging, and go ahead and clean it out. Okay, now I've completed the front of the legs and the back of the legs. Now I'm going to go into the glutes. And if you recall, I had the cups parked on the piriformis trigger point, the gluteus minimus, and I also went into the deep 6 lateral hip rotators down at the lower part of the greater trochanter. So I'm going to go ahead and unveil him. You can see where some of the residual marks of where I just have taken the cups off. And you can also see a hickey, if you will, a cup kiss from where David had used the cup last night. So what I'm going to do is simply just drape him. I'm going to hold that, and with my elbow and forearm, I'm going to do some deep myofascial techniques here. And I just use my elbow to hook in at the sacrum, and I'm going to go from the sacrum basically down to the greater trochanter. And it's just about creating space and stretching that tissue manually. So starting at where the muscle starts and coming out. So medial to lateral. But having used the cups on that area prior to doing the massage techniques, it's like taking a tight muscle, putting the cup on there, and what happens is the muscle relaxes and releases. Again, desensitizes the central nervous system, so I can go deeper without him feeling discomfort that he otherwise would have felt without prepping the area with the cups. So there you have it. There are just some of the things that David and I do on a weekly basis to help keep him competing in high performance and keeping him injury-free. I'm Stacey Nevelis. You can find out more at staceynevelis.com.